So this is my 23rd year in the computer security industry, and in the early days, security was always sold with fear. Like, fear, this awful thing that you have to be worried about, and you can buy security to stay safe. And now, more and more companies are really focusing on the enabling part. And you need to have security to be able to do what you really want to do. Nobody buys a computer to run an antivirus on it. You buy a computer to do your work. You just need the security in there to be able to do your work.
From my point of view, security is really fundamental. If you're going to business enable on social media or any other internet capability, trust is essential. If you can't get the trust in what you're trying to do online, then you're going to end up in a situation where you start out with a potential business and then people start to shun what you're trying to do. They believe it's unreliable, it's unprotected, and then whatever it is you're trying to drive forward will ultimately collapse.
I work in the retail e-commerce space, so security is not just an enabler, it's a requirement. If my customers don't think that they can trust me with their details, even something as simple as delivering food, the amount of information that we have to have about our customers, from addresses, phone numbers, payment details, if we can't guarantee their safety, they're not going to use us. So it's not just an enabler, it's an absolute requirement.
What we need to understand as a business is what are the critical business processes we are outsourcing. There are some business processes which are really important for the survival of the business. And there's some kind of data which we shouldn't be part away with, because that will introduce huge amount of risk.
The thing that we should try to do is to make third-party suppliers aware of what do they hold. Because sometimes they may hold some data that doesn't look really sensitive to them. Where is our role to make sure that every single person or entity in the supply chain know what they are dealing with?
The analogy to apply to this is, if I'm looking for a nanny or a childminder for my son, who is dear to me, so we go through multiple checks. We try to find out somebody who's using the service of some other childminder or nanny, do some background checks, do some criminal investigation checks. So the reason we do that is we want to make sure when somebody is managing our child in our absence, then we're able to trust them. The same analogy applies to us. So there's some data which is important for the survival of the organization. That is the bread and butter of the organization. So if we are going to impart that information to some supplier and going to believe and trust them to be able to give the same due and care to that kind of information, then we need to build that trust relationship with them. We need to do some due diligence process. And that's where it comes down to the conversation around understanding the business process on the supplier side.
I attended it last year as well, because at that time I was looking to get into IT security. I found it really interesting because I could see a wide variety of vendors and also people who actually provide you useful information.
Yeah, it's kind of something in my calendar. You have just to meet with the vendors, to try to check what is in the roadmap for the next year. And also, as I was saying, yes, just to catch up with some of my peers in the industry.
Looking around, I can see that there are a lot more vendors, and I think it's increasingly growing in comparison with last year.
Try to get some new ideas regarding how to make IT security more user-friendly and simple to use, and just instead of being any blocking department, but just trying to ease the life of the people that we serve in the company. Yeah.